And the first presentation or update we have this evening is an update on the Community Development Block Grant application process. Ms. Kana Franklin is the, I think you all know her, she's the Community Development Block Grant Coordinator, so she's here to update us this evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Later tonight, you'll approve the last step up to 2014-15 fiscal year, but we're already planning for next year's funding cycle. The Human Planning Commission started working a year ago on revising the application process. Dollars are shrinking, so we're trying to get a comprehensive application that answers a lot of questions ahead of time, gives some of the agencies a bigger platform to tell their story than just the 5 minutes that they've had. So, you were invited. You got a flyer in your packet. We're going to have 4 informational sessions over the next 2 months to discuss the changes. It looks like this. To discuss the changes. The biggest change will be in the public service category. In the public service category, we're going to move to an RFP process. They'll still have to answer the same questions. They'll still have a lot of the required information is required, so that won't change. But it will give the agencies a bigger chance to tell their stories. We can compare apples to apples, and we can invite some new agencies to participate in the process. My boss gave me 5 minutes to talk, so if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer any questions. We have the 4 sessions planned. There are 2 in July, there are 2 in August, morning and evening. We've invited all of our current subrecipients, anybody who had applied in the last 5 years. We get walk-ins throughout the year. We have all of their names that we're going to invite. We'll do public service announcement on SGTV. We've been sent it to the libraries and public places like that, and we're going to try to make sure everybody gets a chance to get the information, learn the process before the application window, which happens in the month of September. So we're working with everyone, and if you have any questions about it, I'd be happy to answer.
Is there any questions? Councilman Ball.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Councilwoman Moore.
Ms. Franklin,
Yes, ma'am.
these workshops will be set up, and you said they're set up to let agencies know what the criteria.
Right. We're
Okay,
going to
no-
go from A to Z. If you've never applied before, you could come in and leave that session knowing everything you need to know to apply. Everything you have to have a DUNS number. There are some things that are required by HUD, and we want to make sure that everybody knows everything they have to have in place before you can apply. We'll walk through the application, we'll walk through the RFP, and when they leave, they'll be prepared to submit a good application.
Okay. So this year, we're taking a look at our community policing because that was an issue last year. Are we taking a look at that? Are we going to have someone come in and speak to us to address whether or not we can do that? Remember, we talked about that extensively.
I do remember, and we did pose the question to HUD. There's been some staff changes at HUD, so they haven't given us a date yet that they're going to come to town. They said they would come, but we don't have a date yet. They did, however, approve our annual plan from last year as submitted. So we're okay with them right now because they have approved what we submitted for this year.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Any other
That's it.
questions? So if I'm hearing you right, the application process really gives those applying a better opportunity to explain what
Yes.
they're doing in compared to
Yes.
what we've done in the past.
Right, and with the shrinking dollars, we're looking to fund fewer agencies with a larger amount so we can get a bigger bang for our buck. Yeah, it's kind of hard to do with the application process we had. And the Human Planning Commission had someone come in and they had some strategic planning sessions, if you will, and some of the other cities are also doing this. Kalamazoo was one that comes to mind, where they're going to a more RFP type process.
The Human Planning Commission, how many vacancies are on that board?
5
There's 5 vacancies.
to my memory.
Generally,
I can,
Roughly 5.
Right.
Those, and those are filled by people, those are in areas or districts?
Mhm,
What's,
they're by voting districts.
They're by voting districts.
Yes, and so we
there-
have
there-
about
There's voting
5.
districts that do not have a representative on the Housing Commission.
On the
I'm
Human
sorry,
Planning
Planning
Commission.
Commission.
Yes.
On the Planning Commission.
Human Planning
So
Commission.
there's 5 of those. Could you share those with us at a later point?
I will.
Each of the council members, where those are, what voting districts those are, what the requirements are, so that if we know of anybody in that particular voting district, that we might be able to steer them in that right direction. I'd appreciate that, because I'd like to see that board also, that commission also full. I mean, we need representatives from each of the voting districts, so.
Okay,
If you'll share that at a later point with us, that we would appreciate that.
I will.
Okay?
in Human Planning Commission, but we'll provide you with the districts.
That would be almost, what, 20-some positions on that? Is that correct? Do we have
Yes, 20 members.
20 members on, 20 precincts, so we'd have to have 20 members in those.
Right,
Okay.
and right now it's 9 vacancies.
9 vacant. Okay, thank you. And if you'll get that information with us, hopefully council members or other people in the community would be able to fill those vacancies, because I think sometimes that they just don't know it's there. And my goal is to get all these boards and commissions. We want to get them full if we can. So we'll do that. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions, council members? Okay, thank you very much.